Sessions and lessons. Sessions and lessons unscripted. And now your hosts, Joel and Gloria Rosario.
Hey everybody, it's me, Joel Rosario, host of Sessions and Lessons Unscripted podcast. Here to my side, Gloria. How are you doing, Gloria?
I'm good. How are you?
Gloria Rosario, my better half.
So you say.
So I know. She's giving me the evil eye over here.
One of those days. Just
Oh, it was a kind of a long day.
very.
At least for me it was. And it was weird because yesterday kind of went pretty smooth. I mean, time-wise. Today just dragged.
Redundant is
Yes.
the word of the day for today is redundant.
Mm. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in again. Appreciate you. Today we thought about talking about regrets, or how what we like to call coulda, woulda, shoulda, and something Gloria and I were talking about. And oh boy, do I have regrets. Although you got to try to live life without regret, right?
Of course.
You just got to live life and YOLO. I dislike that word.
It is.
YOLO.
You know, before that became like a thing, a saying,
Mm.
I always said, "Oh, you only live once," and now it's like one of those eye rolls.
Okay, so terms that are like nails on a chalkboard.
YOLO.
Living the dream. When people, hey, how you doing? Living the dream.
Living the life.
What else? When it's New Year's, see you next year. I don't know. There's just a bunch of little stupid things.
I have
Little,
patience for none.
little annoyances in life, or big annoyances. Yeah, so today I thought we'd talk a little bit about regrets and uh, what causes them and like what it causes, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Would you say you have a lot of regrets or no?
Yes and no.
Yes and no. What does that mean?
I regret certain things,
Hmm.
but I do them all over again.
Really?
Yes, and let me tell you why, because I think anytime you make a mistake that's like a quote unquote like what is it?
Like a learning experience or
Yeah, it's like
a lesson?
all mistakes that I've made in my life make me who I am in this particular moment.
Hmm.
So I don't necessarily regret a lot of things.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
I regret saying certain things and I regret living through some things, but I wouldn't change
But it
anything.
kind of formed you into what you are now.
Yes, I believe that.
That yeah, I guess I could see that, and I agree with that for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's formative for sure, but at the same time, it's not. I guess it's one of those. What's the opposite of a superpower? It's the I don't know, banes of existence. I have no idea. But it's like you gotta use that to your advantage, I guess, if that makes any sense. Regret.
Oh, excuse me, you caught me drinking
Oh,
something.
she was she was a little dry, so she was hydrating.
Excuse me, guys. Um, no, I see what you're saying. I don't.
Cause the thought that pops into my head while I was listening to you is we were kind of touching upon it when we were talking about what was it, the innie outie. We were talking about introverts and extroverts. How being an introvert can be both positive and a negative, as well as being a extrovert could be a positive and a negative.
Right.
So I think regrets can also have a positive and a negative side to them.
How would you figure that a regret has a positive to it?
Because, like you just said, you regret, like, say you regret bullying this kid, right, in
Yeah.
school.
Uh-huh.
But then as you grow older, you realize when I acted that way, that wasn't right or wasn't fair to the person.
Okay.
So now you're more respectful.
Yeah.
So because of that, and you reflected on that negative or thing,
And it changed like your path of
I guess I
thinking.
think I'm making
Yeah.
sense.
No, I understand what you're saying.
So it's kind of going along with what you said.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, for myself, I mean, I've gotten a lot of better over the years, and I think one sometimes, I mean, sometimes I guess we put unrealistic expectations on ourselves, anyways. Sometimes, would you say that?
Yes. I do think
And
that.
you got to be kind of realistic too
Right.
with some stuff. Like you're not gonna be not everyone's gonna be an astronaut like Katy Perry or um, you know what I'm saying? Like some people aren't. They're just gonna be a normal Joe Schmo or whatever.
I'm sorry. Katy Perry is delusional. Like,
Whatever happened to her? I actually kind of liked her back in the day.
she's getting to.
She's getting weird.
She's turning into like Madonna. You know how like the older they get, the
I
kookier
don't
they
know.
are.
But yeah, Madonna's another one that yeah, I don't know what's going on there.
But no, back to the regret thing. I um, I kind of see where you're coming from with it, but
Mhm.
there's regrets that make us grow, and then there's the regrets that make us regress into patterns and behaviors and
Yeah, and that
stuff like
caused
that.
depression and
Yeah,
all that stuff.
depression and the anxiety and that's not good either. I think well, would you say that a regret is the same thing as a mistake?
No, I wouldn't say it's the same thing.
No.
No, because regret is like a residual thing.
Mhm.
A mistake is
Oops.
yeah, like oops, I did it again or whatever. Here we go with the more pop references today. Now a bit Britney Spears.
Oh gosh.
You know what? That was that's your sister. Got Britney Spears in our
Oh,
brains.
yeah.
She said she was a big Britney Spears fan. And but no, I wouldn't say regrets and mistakes are not the same thing.
Okay.
But because excuse me, because I would say that regrets are like a residual thing. Because you can have a regret after you make a mistake.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of, I mean, one and the same, but not.
Okay.
It's like an byproduct
Right.
of a mistake.
So, do you feel like you made mistakes more as a like adolescent or more now as an adult? Like regret wise.
Well, I would have to separate the two,
Right.
making mistakes and regrets. Mistakes for sure. I made tons of them. I still make mistakes. No, I'm sure everybody does. No one's perfect. Regrets is funny too when I think about it right now because to me, all my regrets are like things that were in the past, right? Like, for example, I was into art big time when I was a kid, right? I was pretty good at it. I even went my parents went as far as to enroll me in an art school where, and it was weird because it was before like homeschool was a thing even because this is how everybody this is how I got into art school. So there used to be these things. I don't remember if they were in comic books and magazines and stuff like that. And it was like you draw this picture and send it in, and then it was like a turtle or something like that,
Oh, I
a
remember
cartoon
those. Yeah.
turtle,
Uh-huh.
and I drew it like almost exactly like the picture. So you sent it in via snail mail because that's all we had. Sent it in. They made a comment on it how good it was, and I like they wanted me to join their art school. Now, for all I know, and now that I'm older, it was probably just like a marketing thing. It wasn't.
Of
They didn't
course.
care. Like
How much did they charge your parents?
I don't remember, but I remember they used to send me the the books in the mail, and then you had to do assignments and stuff, and then send them in, and then they would grade them, send them back, and it was like a legit school. I don't remember what the name of it
This
was.
sounds ancient at this
Yeah.
point.
Anyways, I'm kind of getting off track, but um, that was something that I didn't stick with. And it's like I probably would have been a decent artist right now if I would have just stuck with it. And I mean, I got a bunch of stories like that. A lot of my regrets are stuff like that. So I hope that kind of it like didn't sound like babbling there.
No, not at all.
But yeah, there's the art thing, the music thing is the big one. Uh, Dropping out of high school, getting involved in the stuff that I was getting involved in.
But I mean, those are all things that
Well, things you can work on later,
right. It's
I
not nothing
guess.
like permanent or like. Well, I shouldn't say
Well, I guess regrets don't have to be permanent.
no.
That's a
It's
good
just
point that you brought
right.
up.
They're not permanent. Like
Right.
you said that you didn't finish high school. Well, you finished it. So
Later on,
later,
yeah.
but you finished it is the
Yeah.
point. I think that a lot of times when people make mistakes, we look back on them
Mm.
and we feel embarrassed and ashamed and sometimes
Then and that's when it turns into regret, right?
right.
And then it's like the could have, would have,
Woulda,
should
shoulda,
have.
right.
Right.
And the thing is that just because you didn't doesn't mean you can't or
That's
you
the
shouldn't.
point.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It's just like everyone is gonna make mistakes. Some mistakes you can't take back.
Right.
Some regrets you can't take back. Some actions, some words. There are things.
You don't think some regrets can be like those wrongs be righted, I guess. I mean,
Not all the time. I mean, I'm not s- talking about this, or I'm not speaking about this in like a negative, with negative undertones, I should say.
mhm,
Like, say that a 16-year-old gets pregnant,
mhm,
right? That's a regret. A lot of people say like, "Oh, you're gonna regret it. You're making mistakes and this and that." But oftentimes, it's something that they carry with them, but it's not necessarily like a bad thing. It's like a positive thing.
it's not like a death sentence.
No, no. So I think that a lot of times when we make, mistakes that turn into regrets, it's not necessarily all like,
Okay, see, and I didn't mean to cut you off, but that in my little pea brain right now, when you said that, so let's say this young lady, uh, became pregnant, right? That was the mistake. She
right,
didn't mean to. And then which will turn into regret because
right,
it's like, oh, I shouldn't have, did that.
right,
Or I should have, been more careful.
right.
But then you can, it doesn't mean everything's over.
No, it doesn't mean that your
Right.
life is over, and it
Right.
doesn't mean that like, oh, you're gonna have this like horrible life.
Right.
There will be struggles, there will be hard times, but eventually,
You get over it or
some
you
people,
overcome it. I shouldn't say get over it. I mean
no,
overcome
you
it.
overcome certain obstacles,
Right.
and I just think that a lot of times we wear our regrets like badges of honor. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
and it's like, I don't think you should be ashamed of like anything in regards to like regretting things or making mistakes or shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Hmm.
Because, like I said, there's always something that you can change. And if you can't change it,
Then you would just adapt then.
adapt.
Right.
Right.
So like if if you were younger and you were into gymnastics and you wanted to be a world class Olympian gymnast, but now you're in your 50s and it hurts to get out of bed. I mean, that dream's kind of over.
No, but I'm talking within reason because you also have to be realistic in what you can and cannot accomplish.
and be mindful of the time that has passed.
Right.
Uh-huh.
But because you're a 50-year-old that isn't going to become like a world-class champion doesn't mean that you can't take up some form of gymnastics. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there
Like
was
rolling around on the ground, because that's about as much as I can do.
that's going to be an Olympic sport. Rolling out of bed, you got it. World
Yeah,
champ.
sometimes it's tough to do that.
But yeah, I'm not, I don't hold on to too many regrets, and if I do have regrets, it's just like if I
I think
can't fix
regrets
them,
become like weights too.
yeah, they weigh you down.
I mean, I appreciate what you're saying, that you don't really, you try not to entertain the regrets or nothing, but regrets can be like weights too, man. They like, I mean, it just it keep regrets will keep you stuck.
For sure. Yeah, I see what you're saying,
Yeah.
but there comes a point, like I'm saying, when you definitely get to a point where it's just like you have to accept it for what it is.
Hmm.
There's some regrets that you can't take back, like somebody who passed away that you didn't say I love you to, or you know somebody moves and you lose contact and there's like regret there. you know that's a different type of regret than oh, I didn't finish high school, or oh, I didn't meet my goals, or you know what I mean. There's some things that actually like hurt you that you can never take back, and like when you are fighting with someone and you say like some horrible things, you can't take those back, and that can ultimately like alter your relationship and your friendships,
Right.
and that's a regret that you can't always take back, you know are you with me?
Yes.
Okay.
No, I know what you're saying. Um, I mean, I guess there's different levels, just like with everything else.
Yeah.
Like some like mistakes or whatever. It's like you got mistakes that are like no big deal, and then you have, man, that was kind of a big
Dun,
mistake.
dun, dun.
Same thing with regrets, I guess. It's like
Yeah.
you'll make, some are not a huge deal. You can just adjust and do whatever, and some are like almost like you said, once a loved one gets lost that you barely spoke to, and you didn't get to speak to them before they're gone.
That's like a
I mean, you
huge
can't really,
regret.
yeah, you can't really get anything. You can't get that back.
No, you can't.
So I don't, yeah, I see what you're saying.
And a lot of different regrets I think can come with like other emotions like anger and sadness, and just, I think that when you recognize that you've made some sort of like mistake or something that's gonna alter like your relationships,
Hmm.
try to rectify it as soon as you can, because the longer you let something like that like fester, the worse it gets and the more resentful people get, and at some point there's no coming back from it.
All right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that would be a common regret, right? How many other common regrets you think people have out there?
Oh, too many. I was like too many to even count.
Yeah, so I mean, not spending enough time with loved ones, of
Right.
course. Um, you kind of touched on it, like not being completely like 100 with people, and pertaining to, whatever, just being honest. Like you regret not saying what's on your mind, or not saying, not being 100% honest with people,
Right.
or trying to put up a front.
Yeah.
So that would be one. Um, caring too much what others think, I guess, is,
I think that's a good one.
yeah.
Caring too much. You know, while we're kind of on the subject of like regrets, when I used to work with older people. I worked in the geriatric department,
Mhm.
with a lot of the elderly and a lot of people with Alzheimer's and a lot of end of life,
Right.
cancer patients, AIDS patients, and all that type of, department where it's like, that the end is going to be, that they're going to terminate or they're going to be terminally ill. And a lot of times in talking to these patients, they tell you so many different things. And if you have the time to, get to speak with someone like that, take advantage of it, because I have so many different stories of like, these older people that are, at their end of life stage, and they tell you, don't hold grudges,
Mm-hmm.
do what you want to do, because, we're all going to end up in the same place at the end of the time. And that was something constant that, a lot of them would say, oh, I have regrets that I didn't say I love you enough. I have
Mm-hmm.
regrets that I didn't spend enough time with my family. It's never I regretted not working too much, or or working too
Yeah,
much. It's
that's
never
true.
like I regretted not, pleasing other people. It's always, emotional stuff like that. Like, um, and you get a different perspective when you're working with somebody who's like at the end of their life, because, they realize that there's like nothing they could do at that point,
Right.
you know? And that's a lot of the commonalities that I noticed when I was working with, the terminally ill
Mm-hmm.
and the geriatric, people. Um that was basically their main advice, don't regret anything, live your life, don't listen to what people tell you,
Right.
love your family, you know. And I think that those are things that we need to focus on, because once we get to that stage in life,
Well, you don't live your best life if you're regretting stuff and not.
right,
Yeah.
you know,
Because in the end, all of that stuff doesn't
it
matter,
doesn't
right?
matter. And that's the key point that, a lot of them would tell us,
Mm-hmm.
nothing that you do in life matters.
Well, certain things, I
Well,
guess. Yeah.
you didn't let me finish. Nothing in this life matters unless you make it matter,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and
And we tend to make the stuff that shouldn't matter matter.
right.
Yeah.
We pay attention to all the little stupid things that don't have any meaning and don't really have an effect on us. Like at the moment we feel like, "Oh my gosh, this is like so big."
Mm-hmm.
But then once you get to a certain age and you look back, you're like, "Man, I was such a dumb person. Like what was I doing?"
Mm-hmm.
You know? So, yeah, I think that's my biggest takeaway, like in working with, the terminally ill and people in hospice, and, just live your life without regrets, because once you get to that point, like there's nothing else you're going to be able to accomplish,
Yeah, I mean, you're at the end there.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, that's good advice. Don't try not to live with regrets or anything.
Right. Don't live for others, just live for yourself,
Right. Yeah, but I mean, le- what you just said too is kind of important, right? Because it's a lot of it is like an emotional thing.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't love this person enough. I didn't tell them I loved them enough. Stuff like that.
Right.
It's never at the end. It's never like, oh man, I should have.
Worked more
Yeah, I
hours.
should have worked more hours,
I
or I
should have
should
bought
have.
those Jordans. I should have, you know what I mean? And it's like, and that's another thing that, a lot of them told me, like, do you remember the first pair of shoes you spent like $100 on? And I was like, no, it
Not
doesn't
thus.
matter. No, it doesn't matter. Like where are those shoes now, or where are those, whatever it is that you were buying that you thought was so important at the moment.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think what we're missing now is connections. It's not material things. It's not, luxuries. It's not all these big things that are, flashed at us on,
hmm,
social media and TV, and it's the other things,
right.
in life that actually make life better, you know?
Yeah, we put our focus on a lot of the wrong things nowadays.
Definitely.
But I don't know. As the older I get, I mean, I guess it's a little bit different now. I mean, do I have regrets still? Yeah, I guess. I mean, but at this point in my life, this stage of my life, I'm just kind of putting my hands up. Like it is what it is.
Right. Because some things, no matter how much you try to change, you're never going to change.
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, and it's like you said, a lot of that stuff's not really permanent. Like, for example, I mean, and even now, I started dabbling in my music again.
Right.
Not so much some of the stuff I wanted to do, but I mean, I started. It's not like you can't go back to that, or you know what I mean.
Right.
I think in my life, one of the biggest regrets would I I wished that for those of you out there listening, um, in my earlier episodes before Gloria joined me and all of that, I kind of went over kind of my story, kind of briefly. I didn't get into super detail, but basically, I ran away from home when I was 15 and I was on my own. And I ended up uh, uh, with someone that was way older than me. And for, gosh, since I was a teenager till I was, how old was I in 2016? My math sucks. Anyway, until 2016 when she passed away, uh, there was a through that span of time there was a lot of bad stuff, negative stuff, people not speaking and just
It basically turned your life upside down.
yeah, it did. And then like when and I've said this before that at 2016 it was like I was set free. It's I mean it may sound horrible, but I felt like free, right? So I mean, I know one of the things that I thought when all of that stuff was done or over was, man, I felt one of the feelings I had was that I wasted basically half my life.
Right.
Or it was, I mean, some people said that it was taken from me,
Yeah.
which that's another discussion for another time. Um, that that time was stolen from me. But I mean, and I've argued that I was a willing participant or whatever.
But what do you know at 15?
What do I know? What? Yeah. What? And you're a teenager. You don't know
You
nothing.
don't know anything about life at that age.
And especially when you have so many hopes and dreams, and people promise you things,
Yeah.
right? So that would probably be my biggest regret. But I mean, the time's gone. I can't get it back. So what do I do? Do I wander aimlessly? Do I slip into depression? Do I get
Well, see, here's the thing, and it might sound like a little not I don't if it comes across like this, it's not meaning to come across as cruel.
mm,
But it's like at some point you have to kind of like let it go or like move on from it.
which I
Cause
have,
right, of course. But
but I think there was
oh,
lasting
there will
damage
always be lasting
because
damage. Right.
because I have issues now, and I think my life until this point there was so much mental abuse and
Right.
anguish and stuff
Uh-huh.
like that that it's like my brain's all bruised up, if
Yeah.
that makes any sense. Like it was beat up.
Right.
So, but I get what you're saying. It's like at this point, I mean, now it doesn't matter. Now, where do we go from here?
No, it's like you have a completely different life now. You're with
Hmm.
the spouse that is supportive, that, it's a different life, you know.
Well, yeah, I mean, I did get over it to a point, I guess,
Yeah.
because let me. The outside is, I well, I use the term normal because the Gloria and I are not normal. I use that term loosely, but outward appearances, everything appears normal. Everything's going fine. There's nothing, no issues, right?
Right.
But for me personally, the inside is what's the problem.
Right. And see, when it comes to abuse, and I'm speaking, as a person who was abused as well,
Hmm.
um, it takes a lot to kind of not necessarily move on, but get to the point to where you can function without it having a massive effect on you. You know?
Yes, that's one of my problems, or was my problem, that I would allow this stuff to like regrets and like, oh, I made mistakes. It like dictates how your life goes, I guess.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I guess what I'm trying to say is that, you know, when you're in an abusive situation, whether it's a SA or, in a situation where you're being taken advantage of
Mm.
in that sense, you, or at least I, never feel like 100% normal, if that makes sense.
What do you mean?
Like, I always feel like there's a piece of me missing. Like, don't
I
get me wrong.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, I totally understand what you're saying.
I have a very cushy life. Like, we have a cushy life.
Well, I don't know about that.
No, it's a cushy life.
I mean,
Compared
better
to,
than some, I guess.
right.
Yeah. I mean, we're
And
grateful what
not
we
in a
got.
bragging way or anything
No.
like that, but compared to the situations that we have been in the past,
Hmm.
this year has been very cushy.
Oh, compared to last year,
Okay.
absolutely.
And that's what I'm saying. We have
Yeah.
a very cushy lifestyle. We have a cushy life.
Yeah.
We have a roof over our heads. We, are able to every once in a while, do something nice or whatever,
Right.
and it's like,
Well, not as much as we used to.
no, but and that's life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're both in different situations, and
But
but
absolutely, this year's way better than last
and
year.
that's what I mean. We have a very cushy life.
Mm.
So even with everything being so good, and me being in a stable relationship and married, and finally getting to a point where, I've let a lot of things go from like my past, and
Mm.
I've been healing, and I'm a 100% of a different person than I was, a while back.
Like maybe a couple years ago, or
Right.
well, more than a couple years
Right.
ago.
I never
Before
thought my life,
pre Joel.
no, Joel, like way before you, I never thought that I would have a life like this,
Mm.
you know. But no matter how happy I am, no matter how good I am doing in life, no matter how financially good or bad I'm doing, it doesn't matter what's positive in my life. There will always be something that doesn't feel like
Like 100%.
100%.
It's funny you mentioned that because I can totally relate,
Right.
and I liken it to like, say you have a porcelain figure, right?
Mhm.
The figure falls and
That is such a
breaks,
good analogy. Yeah.
and you put these pieces back together, but it's never the same.
No.
There's cracks in it, little chips missing. It's a whole, it's there,
Right.
but it's all, it doesn't look the same. It's
No,
not the
and it's
same.
like when you're broken like that, because when you're abused in that sense,
Mm.
there is always something missing. There, it was like when your innocence is taken for granted, and you're put in a situation where you've been, you know, distorted mentally, because of it.
Mhm.
No matter how much therapy you have, no matter how much, better your life is, no matter how happy you are, no matter how much you have in your life, there's always something that's like broken inside of you, And it's like,
But I mean, it's something. Wouldn't you say it's something that can be worked on or repaired?
Yes and no, because the mentally I've moved on. Obviously, I'm grown up, and like I said, cushy life, right? But I I always like I don't feel whole, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't matter that I'm married and in a relationship and the house, the car, whatever.
Right.
You know, I should be happy and I feel happy, but there's always something that feels off. And it's like you said, it's like you're broken. It's like no matter how much you grow and how much you've moved on and how much you heal, there's always going to be that innocence that was like taken from you.
Well, yeah, that's something you can't get back.
No, and it's like no matter what.
But that's what. But then you adapt and you move on,
Right, of course,
and you
move
learn how
on
you learn how to live.
with it.
I don't know if I would say it like that,
Well,
but you
I
learn.
say it like that because like I said, it's always going to be something that's a part of me. Our situations were different but the same. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it was it's abuse, right?
Right.
And I guess the difference was, or the difference is that, when you're a little kid, like at 5, 6, you don't know any better in life. When you're 15, you don't know any better in life, but you're a lot more um open to things
Right.
that are put to you like in a happy light,
Mm-hmm.
you know, as opposed to being, a child with an adult. It's the same but different, if
Right.
that makes sense. But I mean, yeah, there's so many things that like have happened in my life that were horrible. You move on from them, you get past them. You never fully 100% heal from them. And it's like when you feel that like pain, it's like you feel it, you go through your emotions and you let them out and then you move on.
Right.
You know. So, I don't know where what the difference is, other than that.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, and I guess the moral of the story today is regrets. You shouldn't dwell on regrets, and I mean, think about what you can do with that. Like just because like say with me, like that 20 plus years is gone.
Right.
I can't get it back.
Right.
So where do you go from here? Right? You gotta kind of keep that in mind, and then take the steps to kind of move on and
Right.
work through it. Right?
Yeah.
Which is a good way to put it, because I think that's a lot of people's problems. They don't work through it.
Right.
You, yeah, you can get over it, like they stated before, but I don't. Just getting over something, I don't know if
It
that's really the solution.
You don't necessarily get over it because when I hear get over it, it's the same thing.
It's
It's just
almost dismissive.
no, it's like saying smile. You'll feel better.
We've
We
we've talked
discussed
about
that
that
last
before.
time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What are you being depressed
First
for?
of all,
Just
just
turn it
smile.
off.
Just
Just
smile.
flip the switch.
Right. Just turn it off. You're
Yeah.
happy. It doesn't work like that.
No.
You know, and granted that, the pain that you've gone through in the past, like, um, it forms who you are as an adult and as a person,
Yeah, but you gotta watch. You want it to form you positive.
positively, of course. That's what I'm referring to. Let's
Yeah.
clarify that. Um, but I think that, you know, as far as like regrets for me, I think
Mm.
probably the only regret that I had was not opening my mouth sooner.
Standing up for
Standing
yourself.
up for myself because
I mean, I have a bunch of them I can get into, but like I said, the biggest one is the running away from home. Dot dot
right.
dot.
And no, like I said, for me, it's more like I've always been kind of nice, and it's gotten me into situations to where it's like, no, I shouldn't have been so nice, you know.
Mhm.
But I learned, you know, there was a lot of times where I would just kind of not confront the situations,
I
you
don't
know.
think that's necessarily bad
It's
though,
not bad, but
because I mean,
no,
I don't like
let
confrontation
me
either.
tell you why it's bad though.
Mm.
Because you condition people around
Oh, that's
you
true.
to
Abuse you.
walk all over you or to abuse you.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, so that's why that's my biggest regret, you know, in that sense that like, you know, people that I should have been angry with and, you know, kind of told them a thing
Told
or
them
two,
off. Yeah,
right? I didn't. And the people that I shouldn't have, I did, you know, because it's easier for me to, you know, brush those people
I'm
off.
guilty of that too in the
Right.
past. I think. Yeah.
Now it's a completely different story, you know. Now I have experience, I've grown, you know, I'm not. And see, and that's a mistake that a lot of people make.
Mm.
You know, once you're an adult, you're not that kid anymore.
Right.
I'm not that kid, you're not that kid, they're not their kid that kid, you know, people
Right.
listening aren't that kid. It's like once you grow up and you form your own thoughts and your own feelings and your own emotions,
Hmm.
it's like, no, I'm not a kid anymore. You can't, you know, do that to me
You're about
anymore.
to catch these hands.
Right, you're about to catch these fisticuffs, you know? But yeah, I think that that's probably one of my biggest regrets is not putting people in their place sooner. You know, because me being the nice person and, you know, kind of not wanting confrontation.
She's an angel, ladies and gentlemen.
No. Don't lie to these poor people.
She's an angel.
But yeah, I think that that's my biggest like regret is not putting my foot down and being like, "No, you're not going to talk to me like that. You're not
And
the person to, you know, have that authority over me. Like I don't, you know. I
right.
don't give you authority to treat me like this anymore." So yeah, that's my biggest regret as a kid, you know.
So, moral of the story, let's use those regrets as positives, right?
Of course.
And
Yes.
learn from them, and don't just automatically think it's it's final.
Right.
Work on that stuff, and
Change what you can't and leave what you can't in the past.
yeah, I mean, you can only control what you can control.
Yep, and you
So
can,
take control.
and the biggest thing you control is how you react and
How
how
you
you
react.
act.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah. All right. So speaking of regrets, I was thinking about this story. um, and you were talking about how you had worked with a lot of elderly and old nursing homes and stuff like that.
Right.
It reminded me of this story when I was in grade school. I don't remember what grade, second, third grade. I
Hmm.
don't remember. I'm so old. So uh, I was in choir, right? I sang,
Yeah.
believe it or not, with this lovely voice. So so we went to sing at we had this thing our school put together. They had us make, well, not us, but our moms make something to take to the elderly, like cookies and food and
Yeah.
stuff like that,
Uh huh.
just to spend time with them, right? And they wanted us to sing for them.
Oh, I remember doing that.
So we got
Uh
together.
huh.
It was a nursing home that was like I think walking distance from the school. So
Yeah.
we all got in single file and we headed to
Walked.
the
Yeah.
place. So we get there, we walked around. Honestly, some of these kids were terrified because they had all these older people walking around, and of course, some of them were kind of out of it, and well, you know.
Right.
So they're kind of freaked out, and you have, you know, people yelling and just being, whatever. So, anyways, I remember I want to say my mom made uh, potato salad,
Yeah.
and that's what that's what I ended up taking. Buddies of mine, their moms made cookies, cake,
And you have potato salad.
and I had potato salad.
Such a
Anyways,
Puerto Rican thing.
so we get there, we set up the stuff. They set it up for us to sing. They sit everyone down in front of us, and we begin to sing. And all these people started to boo
Oh no.
and started yelling, "Tell them to shut up!" and get them off the stage. And people were legit booing.
You better have taken your potato salad with you. I'm sorry.
So, of course, all of us kids are confused. Like, we don't know what's going on. The teachers are like kind of in a panic because they're like, "What's going, what's going on here?"
Everyone was in for the shock of their lives, I guess.
All these people were heckling us and get them off the stage. There was people actually booing. So, anyways, that got cut short. And they're like, "All right, kids, come on, gather up because we're leaving." So and it's funny you mentioned about taking the potato salad back because there was people that were already trying to go. They tried kicking us out, and then you had people like going towards the food, like it was almost like it was a setup. Like,
That's what I was gonna say. They used you guys for your potato salads and your cookies.
Yeah, we brought all this food
Ah.
and we're over here lining up to get taken out, and then it's like there was some kids that were confused and they're like, "Oh, I should take my cookies back." So they tried to take them from the table, and then these older people were, like, yelling at them. It was just thinking back, it was just
It
chaos.
sounds like a disaster.
And then I think there was a couple kids that were crying, like,
Oh.
and there was people. It was just so weird.
It sounds chaotic.
It was just weird. But yeah, that was. I regret taking potato salad there.
I never had an experience like that. Like I remember the same thing. Like in our school, we used to go to a local nursing home that was not too far from the school. Again, you grab hands and you walk down the street until you
Right.
get there. And we had nothing but like positive, like these were all our grannies and our grandpappies.
Well, that was the first and last time we ever did. I don't recall ever doing that again.
Oh my gosh. I would have gone for my potato salad. Like, I'm sorry, you're gonna boo me after I come visit you? I'm gonna take
It was
my
some-
damn potato
It
salad.
was some good potato salad. So my mom made some mean potato salad. My mom can cook. Yeah,
That's harsh.
It is harsh.
I don't think I ever went through anything like that as a kid. I think the most like crazy thing that happened to me like in a group setting like that is I don't know why the teachers thought it would be a great idea to take us ice skating. And I was in a what was it? I was very shy as a kid.
Mhm.
Like adults and people would talk to me and I just kind of wouldn't answer back. So they put me in the short bus,
The special kids
the
class.
special ed class because I had no social skills. Like I was either really savage or just like super quiet. There was nothing in between.
Mhm.
And I remember that all these kids were bouncing off the walls. Like I wasn't that bad, and I don't know why the teachers thought that it would be a great idea to take us ice skating, like for ice skating lessons.
Mhm.
Okay, so you had probably like 11 kids, 12 including me, but 11 kids bouncing off the wall, and these poor ladies were trying to explain to us like what to do,
Mhm.
and they got so bad that the teachers were like, "Okay, screw this. We're going back to school."
Mhm.
And they cut the trip short. We were only there for like 15 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, like we made these poor ladies cry. But
Wow.
that was, yeah, no, I'd never been treated like that. Like,
That's
Boo.
probably one of my problems. I got heckled by older people.
By older people when you were just trying to bring
Get up.
sunshine and joy
Right? We were just trying to be nice.
and bring a little happiness into their
That was
lives.
to this day, I'm like, that boggles my mind. Like, what happened there?
Those are different times though, because nowadays that wouldn't happen.
Well, I don't know about that.
I've never heard of something like that happening before.
And that's God's honest truth. I was like, man, I think I want to say second or third grade.
Yeah, because those are usually when people take the trips to like the nursing homes.
Yeah, I think it was third grade. I don't remember.
Yeah, I no.
Anyways, I think we're gonna leave it there today.
All right.
So, guys, thanks for listening. Appreciate you as always. Don't forget to visit the website, the blog at sessionsandlessonsunscripted.com. Check out our podcasts there. We can also read certain articles, and we'll post things related to some of the stuff we talk about. Also, if you have any suggestions, stories, anything you want to contribute, go to the email sessionsandlessonsmail@gmail.com, and our socials, TikTok, Instagram, all that good stuff. Give us a visit, engage. We'll for sure engage back. And you have anything to add?
Yes, when you're visiting sessionsandlessonsunscripted.com, be sure to go to the drop menu and look for contribute. If you want to contribute any ideas or
Yeah, you can post on there.
stories or, just leave comments for us and we'll see them.
And you can also leave posts on or comments on the postings on there and stuff like that.
Yeah, we have all of the older episodes
Mhm.
and that's where the new ones load.
Yeah.
But other than that, have a good week, day, whatever you're going through.
Yeah, a nice drive. Be careful. Pay attention. Please. Watch for pedestrians.
Pedestrians and dogs and cats and
Yeah. Oh,
Right.
speaking of, before I say bye-bye, this morning on my way to work, there was a deer that crossed the road right in front of me.
I bet you I know what street you were on.
Yeah, I bet you do. But yeah, it was a big deer too. But anyways, we'll leave it there. Thank you guys again. Hope you guys have a great day, weekend, a couple hours. I don't know.
Okay, bye guys.
All right, bye guys. See you on the next one.
Bye.
Sessionsandlessonsunscripted.com.